We've talked a little bit before on our Piper and our Goldust episodes about the Hollywood Backlot Brawl. As I understand it, the majority of this was taped the day before.
Oh God, no! We did this like a week before.
Okay, so talk to us about how this happens, because as I understand, I think the original plan maybe was, hey, we're gonna we're gonna do it old school and get some color on you and do it hard way, and people are getting hurt for real and hitting each other with cars, and we've got to account for the weather because we're trying to sell it as if, we know what the weather's going to be like. So I think you guys wet the scene down. Just catch me up on the what you recall about the old Backlot Brawl.
Well, you get there in a rainstorm, and so it was all wet. Didn't know what the weather was going to be like, the day of WrestleMania. So we went down the street like, hey, I'm ready for him. I'm wetting everything down, so it'll be slippery when it gets here. Just taking care of some of those things, but nobody wanted to get blood because you have a week or 4 days or whatever the hell it was, but it was a lot, wasn't definitely was not the day before. Um, it's going to be all dried up. It's going to look like shit. Then what? You want to open them up again
Hmm.
for the live? That's unrealistic. And whoever had that rumor and that note would be incorrect. Unless Piper and Goldust just talked about it. And, oh, hey, wouldn't it be great if we did this? But we did talk about it and said what we did not want, and we did not want that.
I see.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way because we did get blood and they did get bloodied, and it was like, well, shit. Now we got to deal with it. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. We talked about Larry Burton the other day, part of the Memphis lawsuit and all that. Larry Burton also helped us get the Backlot Brawl with some folks, with Mitch Ackerman from Disney helped out. We did it Paramount, maybe. I don't even remember where we did it. Universal, Paramount, wherever the hell we were. We went in. We had a sound stage, and then we had the alleyway in between the sound stages that we could use. Looked around, had a couple cameramen. Hey, I can use a camera up there. I can use a camera here. Ding. So what if you walk over here? Went over, had a bagel, and shit's on.
And shit's on.
That's kind of how we did it. I think that they were all waiting for us to lay out, scene one, shoot that 10 times. Scene two, take a bite of the bagel
Hmm.
and shoot that 42 times. Because you want one with cream cheese, you want one with honey, you want one with a little jam, maybe just a little butter. How about you eat it just plain and dry? Mm-hmm. Well, goddamn, there's some locks right there. I'm gonna put me some fucking locks, a little onion on top, some capers and shit. No, it's not how we do it, man. This shit's real. And went through all. I mean, literally went all the way through it in one take. Got all the way out into the alley, and it was on. And they just did it. We didn't stop them, but Piper's nuts as it is. Roddy wanted Goldust to charge him with the car and hit him with the car. Felt, he could take the bump over the top and onto the windshield and all that good stuff. But I think the biggest thing that I remember that day is as they came out of the alleyway and they turned right, you were in the studios. So people have offices and everything all over there, and they had all reserved parking. And we might have clipped a vehicle or two,
Hmm.
making that corner. And this is after people were like, oh, what the hell are they doing? They're making so much noise. And by God, they better not drive down this road. We might have accidentally driven down that road.
Oh,
And so we got her all done, and come to find out, Piper had broken his arm, broken his wrist, broken his knuckles on Goldust's head. We had to go in and get Piper's arms splinted and set. What happened to Goldust? I think Goldust got a concussion. It was ugly. It was just bad. Then you have to recreate that when you get back into Anaheim. So the idea was that, Goldust would take off and then Roddy would jump in just a random vehicle and chase behind him and chase him all the way to Anaheim. And we got some helicopters and we were able to follow it.
The white Bronco, of course, this is an OJ reference. That's the only holdover on this show from the OJ reference.
Well, it was the only car that was there. It was available, and so Roddy jumped in it.
Sure. Listen, there's something here in the Observer I want to ask about. The way the scene was shot and replayed, it appeared that running over the segment was actually done by a stuntman dressed to look like Piper. Is that a stuntman taking the car bump?
100% no. That just, again, shows how idiotic, uninformed, stupid, and lying that Dave Meltzer is. More uninformed and ignorant.
Of course, we don't see a conclusion of the match, but we do start another match. It's going to be Steve Austin and Savio Vega. Austin gets the win, 10 minutes and 8 seconds. It's a 2-star match. Meltzer would say the work itself was good in spots and slightly off in others. Both guys worked hard, but there was no heat, and the finish died live. Could you see? Listen, we all think the world of Savio Vega. What a big pop he got in Puerto Rico. Really glad he got his moment in the sun there. But could you see where this new paint of coat in Austin was really going to work already at this point?
I don't think it was going to hurt. I don't know that anyone expected it to get as big as it did.
Right.
But I think you can also go back and look and never be able to find a bad Savio Vega Steve Austin match.
No.
And great chemistry, and God, they worked their asses off no matter where they were on the card. And to me, this was no exception.
I think I've seen or heard Austin give a lot of credit for Savio Vega for helping get him comfortable and get him up and going here in the WWE. Gives him a lot of credit for some of his early success and just the ability to launch into what's coming. And it's funny too, because you've seen like Goldust when Dustin Rhodes was trying to figure that character out. He gives a lot of credit to Savio for the little things like, hey, what if we tried this? And what if you did this? And then I did that. Yeah. Savio is maybe one of the more underappreciated, and really, I think the word I was trying to get to was giving. I mean, a lot of times, guys, we hear about, hey, here's what I want to do, as opposed to, hey, man, why don't you try this? It feels like Savio was doing that for both Dustin and Stone Cold, no?
All the time. He did it for everyone.
Yeah.
Savio would look at the story overall and make sure everybody was taken care of.